So what I started here is after this winter I realized there's a part of the fender that's all rotted out. So this fender is on a 2001 Ford Focus. It's quite old. The other side's still intact, it's solid, so it's a good way to look at what I'm gonna be building here. But basically I just cleaned it out and screwed the fender from the bottom and removed the rotted out part. There's some stuff that didn't fall apart, but a lot of it just completely vanished, turned to sand. Yeah, so there's a bolt there. It's gonna go back. There's like a fastener. There's like a bracket that goes over this to be able to screw in. This is where actually the jack goes, and it seems to be pretty good. It's still solid, so I'm gonna use this piece of cardboard to form a piece of the fender first. So I'm gonna cut it out and figure out. I'm actually bleeding from this rough steel. Anyways, it's gonna go something like that. I know I have to cut and figure out the sheet metal I'm gonna cut for this piece. So this will be the form for the sheet metal. And I got some galvanized steel somewhere I'm gonna cut out, and I'm gonna use rivets as I usually do. And this whole rocker panel is riveted in, I think in 2010. So it's 12 years old. Looks all right. There's some cracks in the finish here, and it's a little bit bent from the jack, but it's okay. It's still, this is an old car, and it's a winter beater. It doesn't have to be perfect. The idea is to make this look not noticeable, and it's not going to be noticeable in this car anyways, unless you really gonna look. So once before I even like do the sheet metal with the rivets, I'm going to do metal prep with the Pour 15, degreaser, metal prep, and then I'm going to do 2 coats of Pour 15, which is a nice finish. Some people love it, some people don't. If you find a better product, let me know. This stuff works pretty well for me. You need rust to apply it, so it's basically forms around rust, cures and sticks to rust really well, and it becomes like an enamel finish, and it's paintable. So I'm going to paint it after with rust paint. Finally, when this is all cleaned up, I'm going to add the metal, which I'll show in I guess part 2 and 3, whatever, how many parts I'll do of this. But yeah, part 2 should start with riveting in the metal and applying fiberglass to smoothen everything out, and then sanding it down so it's relatively unnoticeable. Not perfect, don't need to be on this car. Obviously I still want to use the original bolt hole there, so that's got to do something like that with a hole in the piece of metal, and some bolts I'll find. The other ones were, the old one was rusted, too rusted to use. And that should be it. Cheers.